And so, yeah, what Christian Small is doing, there are Starbucks right here in my city, whether it's Clifton Avenue or West 6th Street or the one in Maple Heights, or excuse me, not Maple Heights, Mayfield Road in Cleveland Heights, just all of the various Starbucks right here in the greater Cleveland area. All of those wins and attempts to give people so much courage. What happened in Staten Island probably, is owed to what they were able to do in Bessemer, Alabama. Even though they didn't come with the brass ring, it was just one more step in the right direction and one more move to motivate people to keep on fighting. So it's the combination of all of these things that I believe that the progressive movement should look at as we critique and judge ourselves and not get caught up and what the mainstream media has to say about this movement, because the overwhelming majority of the American people are right where this movement is. They might not, Krystal, and they might not, Kyle, call themselves progressives. If we take the label off and you just talk to people about, is your health care enough? Is it serving you? Are you making enough money on your job? Would you like to see things change in this society that gives you more than a fighting chance to live out your greatest greatness? Most people, no matter how they identify politically, are going to say, yeah, I would like to see more done. That unionist movement is an example of that. You got people who were probably Bernie-crats, Clintonites, Trumpites, Green Party, no party, all uniting based on what they had in common. And what they had in common was a drive and a determination to say, we deserve more. We deserve better. We're going to put our political ideology on the side and fight like hell to get that better. And that's benefits, that's wages, and that's work conditions. This is the roadmap that the progressive movement needs to use so that we keep on fighting. We cannot get weary in well doing.
Well, I think your point about Bessemer leading to Staten Island is actually really important. And we know that Chris Smalls and Derek Palmer and their team went down to Bessemer to see what they could learn from that fight. They didn't watch the defeat of that. And by the way, Amazon cheated and there was a redo and the results of that are still ongoing. So they may have actually pulled it off the second time around. There's still some hope there. But they didn't look at that initial defeat and say, unionization, it just doesn't work. Forget about it. Instead, they said, okay, what did they do that didn't land, that didn't work, that we think we can improve upon for our own movement and for our own union drive on Staten Island? And so they took those learnings and they pushed the ball forward. And now you have a spark that, again, has ignited across the country. With the latest that he said is they've had 100 Amazon buildings across the nation reach out to them about organizing. I mean, that is the revolution, and these things build on each other, because I would submit if we had had that type of strength in the labor movement when Senator Sanders was running in 16 and in 20, I think we would have had a very different result ultimately. So Senator Sanders helps to spark, resurgence in the labor movement, interest in it, especially awareness among young people. That helps to build a movement. That movement will help support the next candidate who has labor's interests and the interests of working class people truly at heart.
Well, as they say in the black church, when the preacher gives a good sermon, Krystal, amen.
Yeah, I mean, amidst all the nihilism, the point that both you guys just brought to my mind now, which I never thought of before, is that it actually doesn't take much to get people going again. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's unexpected as to where it comes from.
That's right.
But whenever you start, notching little victories here and there, it's like victories beget more victories. And then next thing you know, you're off to the races. So, I mean, look, I'm sympathetic on the one hand to those who have almost conceded to the nihilism, because I get where that urge comes from, and everybody on their worst days feels like that.
Oh, yeah.
But then on the other hand, and I know I make this corny analogy all the time and people want me to shut up making it, but it actually matters to me. I think of like Michael Jordan playing a game with the flu, and that was like one of his most legendary performances. Tiger Woods winning the U.S. Open on a broken leg. The greats push through despite the odds. And in fact, they almost look at everything being biased against them as yet another good reason to shine and try even harder. And so that, I feel like that energy needs to be something fully embraced by the left, as opposed to defeatism and nihilism. You stare in the eyes, whatever the mountain is that you're trying to climb, and you're like, mountains don't have eyes. But you stare at them and you're like, I'm going to do this. Like, we're going to do this, and we're not going to stop at anything until we actually win.
That's it, Kyle. And that's one of the reasons why I am running again. That is exactly it. And what the forces against what we're trying to do, They want people to lose hope.
Yep.
They want people to get so discouraged and frustrated that they throw up their hands and say, I'm not going to try anymore. That is what they want. And we cannot give them what they want because they understand what we need to understand even on our worst day, that when conscious-minded people from all walks of life unite, maybe there is no force on this earth more powerful than that. And so we must keep pushing through our anger, through our disappointment, through resentment. And even if we're right about some of these things, which we are right about most of the things, in the case of trying to fight for what is just right and good, we still must keep going because to stop means nothing will ever change. And the status quo, corporatist types in this country who do not believe that everyday ordinary people deserve to live a good life, they revel in the fact they want this movement to feel defeated and to stop. And that's why we can't let it stop. And that's why they come after candidates like me so hard. That's why they came after India Walton so hard. That's why they came after Senator Bernie Sanders so hard, because us and so many others that I've not named right now, we shine hope. And when as the human spirit, as long as we got hope, baby, we keep on going.